So I have it in sport mode now. I'm gonna see how it accelerates here. And the CVT is pretty impressive, as it does allow for decent acceleration for a 1.6 liter naturally aspirated engine. And I did forget to mention, this does have the high beam assist, so I have it on now. My high beams are on and I'm in auto mode, but they won't come on until it's dark, and it doesn't sense any vehicles coming towards me or in my line of sight. So again, for this price point, you get so much with this Versa SR. You get the Sky Gray Pearl, which is a premium paint, but it looks fantastic. Worth every penny in my book. It's one of the better colors out here at this moment on any car. And you get intelligent cruise control. And then you have your Bluetooth, AM, FM, XM compatibility, wired Apple CarPlay, wired Android Auto. You have LED headlamps as opposed to having halogens. And you can see where they had to cut corners just to keep the cost down, but still you get so much for this money. And for people in this market, if you're more worried about getting 40 miles per gallon as opposed to having something that's somewhat quick, this is perfect. And especially if you keep it over the years, maintain it. I've personally seen Versas, people complain about them being turn and burn cars, but I've seen some get 200,000 miles and the people have no issue out of it because they just take it to get it serviced as it should be. Now, if you're wanting to keep this for 20 years, I definitely recommend getting an extended warranty and just keeping up with it anyway. And you know, these cars will last you, but for the money, you really can't beat this Versa SR, having all the safety equipment. And I mean, you still get a power seat on the driver's side, somewhat roomy in here for such a small car, and you're pushing 40 miles per gallon on the highway. It's just a great deal in my opinion. And in terms of ride quality, even on this bumpy back road, nothing crazy. And I wouldn't even call the ride terrific, which you shouldn't expect this out of a car that's a little more than $20,000, but still a solid ride. The steering feel is nice. Now it's a little harder to adjust this for someone of my size, so it's kind of a weird feel here. Also, I'm trying to get the camera angle without getting the headliner in the way, but again, not bad. I think I said this had power seats, it didn't, so I apologize. But 6-way manual, so it's easy to adjust the seat back, seat bottom, and the height. But this is one of those cars that, like I said, if you're needing to save money and you're worried about how much fuel you're gonna pay for, and you're just trying to get a budget-friendly car that gets the job done, this is one of the best options in the segment. But in terms of sound acoustics and everything, it's decent, but you're not gonna get the same sound quality in the cabin that you would get in a $70,000, $80,000 Armada, so. But still, nothing crazy. So I consider that an A+ in my book. And for this car, again, acceleration is decent. It's not quick, but it'll do. I'm gonna put it in the sport mode now to accelerate onto the interstate here. I'm gonna leave myself a little distance because no one's behind me, and I'm gonna put my foot down. So again, this is no speed demon. You have a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder, but still able to do it. Now you do have lane departure warning, and then you have the intelligent cruise, but no lane keep assist or lane centering. But again, for this price point. And then you can also see the blind spot monitor right there as it goes off. But it's keeping this safe distance between myself and the vehicle in front of me. And of course you can adjust the gap hitting this button here if you want to. But ride quality coming down the interstate is pretty good for this kind of car. It's a little windy out, so I'm just getting a little bit of body roll here and there, but for the most part, like I said, a solid ride. I wouldn't drive this to the other side of the country and back. You could, but just in terms of what I'm used to in terms of comfort, what I want out of a vehicle, I like to have adaptive cruise, I like to have lane centering, I like to have a power seat. So you do get heated seats in here, which is nice if it's going to be cold out, but just a great commuter car. It's the best way to put it. And you can actually see, if I can pull it up, I can pull up the tachometer there, which is nice. And when I put it out of the sport mode, it keeps the CVT revs down. So instead of sitting in that 3,000 RPM range, I'm right a little over 2,000. And then if you're worried about warranty, I think I showed that earlier. I think Nissan is 3-year 36, maybe 4-year 48 or 5-year 60,000 on the powertrain. Not 100%, but of course, y'all can look that up. But like I said, for this price point, you get quite a bit of car for the money. And just simple to drive. If you are, let's say maybe an older person who doesn't haul around a lot of people, doesn't do a lot, just kind of needs an A to B car, but you want something new and nice, and you're wanting to stay at a certain price point, definitely a fantastic option. And this will bring me to the end of my review of this new 2023 Nissan Versa in the SR trim level.